लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी। ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया।
A very warm welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on this special series of Business Opportunity Over Chai. Business Opportunity Over Chai presented by the management of Franchise India with an aim to introduce you with a new brand every day at 12 o'clock. With the same aim, today also we have joined us and we are going to introduce you with a new brand in our today's session. So before I take it forward, I simply want you to run you through with the Q&A process, that too very quickly. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the Q&A window. We will take up all your questions post this presentation. So our today's brand is called Dixy Chicken. With over 150 stores spanning the United Kingdom and several international locations, including Brunei and the UAE, Dixy Chicken prides itself on being a fast food chain with the difference. The founding partner and CEO, Mr. Juneja, he is with us today on this panel, along with Ms. Shivani, his team member, to tell you more about the brand and the details with business opportunities available in India. Mr. Juneja is holding LLB degree and a postgraduate diploma in international business. Apart from Dixy team, we do have Mr. Abhinav. He's heading our Chandigarh branch and he's leading this brand in Chandigarh. We do have Miss Nikita. She's working as a consultant and she'll be leading the commercials part over here on this panel. Team, I would like to welcome all of you on this panel today, and I would want to request you to please brief us about the brand and the opportunity available in Indian market for our partners and the participants who are watching you live. Amiji, I would want to take you lead from here and would like to ask you about the brand details and the journey, since this brand is available in over 150 locations, and you are offering two models, FOCO and FOCO. So I would want you to put some light onto this and brief details to our investors and the participants. Over to you, Amitji.
Thank you so much. But I would request Shivani, first of all, to give you a very brief on Dixy, and then I'll take over.
Sure.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. And I would just give an introduction about Mr. Juneja as well. He's an entrepreneur, a young entrepreneur from Juneja family, and he's the founder member from Dixy India. So now it is not Dixy Chicken. Here it is Dixy India because we are bringing, we have just a collaboration with Dixy Chicken UK brand, but then we are bringing here with we have veg menu as well for you. So for Dixy Chicken, I can say that in India, we are coming up with a different menu, veg and non-veg both for the people in India, because in India, we don't have people who are just non-vegetarians. The two families who are Punjab-based, Vidhata Group, that is Mr. Juneja from Vidhata Group and Barar family, who are the founder members of Dixy India. So for Dixy, you can learn more from him. He's here to appraise you about the models, then the costs, the expense involved in it, and more about this brand he can appraise you. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing great, and this is a great morning. And thank you, team Franchisee India, for taking this initiative and holding hands with Dixy so that Dixy can pan India, expand its horizons, and with a good footprints. I am thankful to Mr. Maurya also for the kind of detailed discussions we had over a period of say past 4 to 5 months and 6 months, and that is how we could bring Dixy here. So I am quickly going to take you through the Dixy presentation. I guess in Franchisee India show in the month of June or July in at Pragati Maidan, New Delhi, we played this presentation there as well. So it is a detailed one, and I would be gladly taking your questions on the financials once we are done with the presentation. So Dixy per se is a British brand. It was established in 1986. So as Neha said that this was an interesting story, how we wanted to grab Dixy for India. So it was something like while four of us were chatting, and we were discussing, there's McDonald's, there is Burger King, there's KFC, but is there any room for the fourth player also? So that is how we took Dixy into the loop, that why not? एक चौथे player की भी जगह है यहाँ पे. So when I visited London and checked their outlets, the food quality and their SOPs, their kitchen standards, so वहाँ जाकर I could correlate everything that there's a gem which is hidden, which is at par in quality with already major players like KFC, Burger King, McDonald's existing in India. And that is how the entire story got initiated. And it took us about 6 to 8 months and round of negotiations to bring Dixy to India. So let's quickly go through it. So India Bole Dixy was it was a tagline given by our advertisement team.
Coming soon. Coming soon.
So as Shivani mentioned, Dixy chicken is quite famous worldwide. But in India, we wanted that a vegetarian crowd should also steer towards Dixy, because आमतौर पे हम देखते हैं इंडिया के अंदर KFC आया तो KFC पहले चिकन के नाम से फेमस हुआ, and that is how we could see a gradual drop in their sales. Why? Because the vegetarian crowd was not moving towards KFC. So here India के अंदर हमने Dixy को plan किया है that it'll remain as Dixy and not as Dixy chicken. So Dixy में we have about 4 models for all kinds of investors. Dixy by the walk, इनके नामकरण किए गए हैं इंडिया की मार्केट के हिसाब से. So Dixy by the walk is a smaller model जो 800 से 1200 square feet के बीच में सेटअप किया जा सकता है. More like meant for airports, walking bys, metros, shopping malls, food courts. So by the walk model is meant for those areas where either you're eating just by standing or by walking, or आपके पास एक common sitting area है जैसे हम food courts के अंदर देखते हैं. So by the walk is the smallest model, and it falls in the bracket of say about 1 to 1.25 CR. Financials पे Nikita is gonna come back again to you guys, but I'll take you through to the next model, which is Dixy Downtown. So downtown is more for the places like Delhi में Connaught Place is quite famous. Shivani, if you can explain downtown, there's an important call, I have to take it.
Dixie downtown, the area which we are going to cover is around 1400 to, you would say, 1600. It is a bigger model as compared to it is more applicable to the places if you have your own your own restaurant, or you have a specified area, and then you can. So in Dixie downtown, the kitchen size is also bigger to buy the walk, and the cost involved, that is the expense, is 5 CR. So it can be 9 delivery model also, and reasonable sitting area of about 40 seaters can be given to the people in Dixie downtown.
So the next comes is grandeur. So downtown, जैसे मैम ने बताया, it is more, we have places like Connaught Place, South X, Vasant Kunj, 32 Milestones, Gurgaon. Similarly, Goregaon Park, Goregaon, major areas where footfall is very, very high, and the rentals are very high, but again, footfall is again very high. So grandeur is more like a drive-through model. On the similar patterns, we see जो शहर के एक्सटीरियर्स में बने हुए हैं, जहाँ पे ड्राइव थ्रू स्पेस इज अवेलेबल, रेंटल इज कंपैरेटिवली लेस, एंड एरिया इज ह्यूज. So these days, with the budding infrastructure of India, along with the highways also, we have witnessed बहुत सारे नए कॉन्सेप्ट्स को लाया जा रहा है, जहाँ पे there is a merger of the shopping outlets as well as the food outlets. So grandeur is something like that, followed by a bigger model with a little bit of family area incorporated is a limousine model. So limousine can go from 3,000, 3,200 to 4,500, 5,000, just depending on the space and depending on the investor. So the models like after the post-COVID, a lot of such technology has been incorporated in these in the food and beverage sector, wherein the online sales plus smart ordering has been incorporated, and the same is going to happen with Dixy also. So Dixy may another USP, because with the budding electrical vehicle segment, हम लोग देखते हैं कि publicly the fuel stations are still gearing up with the EV stations. So what we are going to do is, हमारे investor के लिए it is going to be mandatory. Of course, the entire support is going to be by the company, negotiation is by the company, but उनके लिए एक mandatory होगा to put up 1 or 2 charging stations along with the Dixy. So when we are going to do that, this is going to be a software integrated. जैसे ही कस्टमर ने अंदर अपना बिल पंच करवाया, फोन नंबर एंटर हुआ और बाहर उसकी गाड़ी चार्ज होनी शुरू हो जाएगी, something of that sort. And then smaller things like wireless charging stations, etc., whatever we can incorporate to keep the customer happy. So initially there was a phase-wise plan for Dixy. Northern India was phase 1 along with the tourism states, जैसे गोवा है, हिमाचल है. But then the kind of response we are getting from many states, we already have the state rights, territory rights queries from Tamil Nadu, from Maharashtra, from Madhya Pradesh, from Rajasthan, from Punjab, from NCR region also. So given that kind of response, हमें ये लग रहा है that there is a possibility कि हमें multiple phases को इकट्ठा ही plan करना पड़े. So instead of going for phase 1, 2, 3 separately, there is a possibility of simultaneous launch also, given the kind of investors. So at giving you a very conservative figure, India में once we pick up the speed, I think 2 साल में या 2.5 साल के अंदर 150 to 200 franchises is a very small number. But for the sake of the presentation, हमने फिलहाल जो number लिया है, that is only up to 45 to 60 franchisees, given the phase-wise launch. Some of the key areas जो हम समझते हैं कि north में कौन से हैं, then west में कौन से हैं, south में कौन से हैं. These are just the pictorials and the visuals. I don't think we need to spend too much of time on this. one of the prototype. Of course, India ke liye, this is one of the prototype which is similar to one of the outlet in Manchester and Birmingham in UK. But India may the infrastructure space is gonna be quite semi-luxury and not like a typical fast food burger chain. Jisme we are going to incorporate, especially the IT people, the youth crowd, the family crowd. सबके लिए अपना अपना एक interior होगा, but in the same carpet area. And every state outlet will have one wall with a heritage depiction. That means अगर चार walls हैं एक rectangular box के अंदर in the infra, so one wall is gonna be depicting the state culture, and rest all the interior is gonna be absolutely on the modern themes. Again, few of the advertisements done by our team.
Love Dixy. Now in India.
Happening here. They're just not getting convinced. What should I do?
Don't worry, babe. I'm with you.
I'm worried.
I'll manage. Hello. Ma'am, your order?
Zahir?
Just a moment, please. Sure. You take your time. Thank you very much. अरे मम्मी पापा को मैं मना लूंगा.
इंडिया में हम आपका स्वागत करते हैं। यहाँ के बेहतरीन स्वाद को आप हमेशा याद रखेंगे और असली स्वाद ही तो रिश्ते बरकरार रखते हैं। यहाँ की हॉस्पिटैलिटी से हम आपकी जिंदगी में यादगार लम्हे जरूर क्रिएट करेंगे। डिक्सी इंडिया, हम विश्वास रखते हैं रिश्ते बनाने और उसे निभाने में।
This is all what was played during the expo, and I would also, if Nikita is around, and I can request her. Just give me 1 minute. Nikita, if you can take them to the investor PPT very quickly, or if you have the same on the screen, then I can switch off my screen and you can take over. Or shall
I think I will resume on the same presentation. So I think that's going to be fine.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So as I think we just saw a brief presentation from Dixy India in terms of how we are projecting our brand to enter into Indian market. So to take you through the menus, so those will be created since Dixy Chicken being an international brand, they have their own forte in terms of the menus and their classic food that they are delivering all over India, all over the world. So Dixy India would also be introducing a few items on the menu, which would be specifically curated in terms of keeping into mind the Indian audience. As Shivani also suggested that,
for example, from Maharashtra, we were planning, crispy vada pav burger. So that's gonna be a, the cultural modern kind of menu addition.
Yes, so that would be a prospect that we will be bringing into India. In terms of the value proposition that we are saying, that we will be open to the entire India, not only specific parts of northern India or these kind of areas. And as Amit also suggested, because we are getting huge audience in terms of requests for multi-units and master franchising being closed for city levels. So we will be projecting for the entire India. Metro cities, as well as your tier 1 and tier 2 cities, a detailed discussion for any investor that would like to go for the tier 1 or tier 2 cities to understand the model. We would be more than happy to actually give you a detailed understanding and value proposition into those things. Though we have models in terms of our FOFO and a FOCO model. FOFO, where we give an opportunity to the franchise partner to operate the store, and a FOCO model where we give the opportunity, take the opportunity ourselves, as the company will be operating that store and giving you the revenue share or a minimum guarantee on the total revenue that we will be projecting. And there will be different market revenues. So these would be the all type number of cities that we will be projecting to. If we speak about a FOCO model, we would be going for multi-unit as well as single unit as well. I'll give you the brief introduction in terms of the models a little later. And we'll also be going for FOCO model, which would be a company operated store and a franchise owned and invested store between both single unit and multi-units as well. All right. If we speak about the type of outlets, I think Shivani and Amit already took us through the different type of models that we are projecting, keeping into mind different opportunities in terms of malls, highways, and all the other areas that the corporate hubs that we would want to go for. By the walk downtown, 4 type of models that we'll be bringing. If now we speak about our by the walk model, it is a model that would range between a size of 800 to 1000 square feet. Keeping into mind, these models would be available both for the metro and tier 1, tier 2 cities. The contract period that will be with the brand would be for 10 years. Investments and everything I'll take you through in some while. By the walk would be preferred both into a FOFO or a FOCO model. The next model being the downtown, it would be an area required between 1400 to 1600 square feet with a contract period of 10 years. It will be available, there would be availability of dine-in takeaways and deliveries with tie-ups with different aggregators and such. The next model would be our grandeur, which would be a size required for around 2200 to 2800 square feet. We would like these to be more prominently available into malls and the commercial hubs for metro and tier 1 cities with a contract period of 10 years. The 4th model would be our limousine model, which would be an area requirement of 3200 square feet and above. It could range between a higher area availability as well if we go for highways and those drive-throughs. And the contract period would be for 10 years. All right. So Amit, if you can give me the rights, I think I'll share a brief franchise structure for the audience so that we can take them through that.
Sure, sure. Shall I stop sharing the screen?
Yes, yes. I'll share mine.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So just to give a brief to everyone, I've already discussed on the 4 type of models that we are bringing into Indian market. The setup cost for By the Walk would be roughly around 1 CR with a franchise fee of 15 lakh rupees. For a downtown model, it would be roughly around 1.3 CR with a franchise fee of 25 lakhs. For grandeur, the setup cost would be around 1.75 CR with a franchise fee of 30 lakhs. And for a limousine model, it would be around 2 CR plus with a franchise fee of 30 lakh rupees. If we speak about a FOFO model, the royalty payable would be around 7%, and our average ROI would range between 75 to 90%. Payback periods would be very attractive in such FOFO models, which would be somewhere between 18 to 22 months for these models. If we speak about our FOCO models, which would be a company-operated store, the minimum guarantee would be at 18% and revenue share would be at 7%, and the brand is payable for these amounts, whichever would be the higher between the two. The average ROI would be between 40 to 50%, and the payback period would be well within a period of 3 years. If we speak about our territory developer rights, so the targeted number of stores, I'm just speaking about territories. We are also open to go for state level franchisee agreements as well. So the typical number of outlet targets would be 100 and onwards. The master fee would be decided as per the number provided to the investors, which would be 20 here. The profit share would be roughly around 50% between the partner and the master franchisee and the brand, with an attractive average ROI of above 100%. And the payback period for the master franchisee would be roughly between 28 to 30 months, which would be around 2.5 years. If we speak about a multi-unit developer, which would be targeted outlets would be around 80 and onwards. The master fee would be around 20 CR and onwards, as suggested, depends on the number of targets that would be advised by the brand. Here, the franchise fee that would be shared between the brand and the investor would be around 50%, and the royalty sharing would also be around 50%. The payback period would be roughly between 30 to 36 months for this franchisee agreement. And if somebody want to get a detailed understanding in terms of the territory rights and the multi-unit rights, so please connect with us, with Franchise India team and Dixy India team. We will be more than happy to take you through the entire detailed discussion around it. Thank you. Over to you, Amit, if you do want to give a little brief around the brand.
So can I request Neha to bring participants also on the screen? So let's have a question and answer round.
Yeah, actually they'll be writing the questions into the Q&A window and we'll take up all the questions from there only. So anything you want to add on, then we'll start the questions. Guys, if you have any questions, please type them into the Q&A window. We are going to start the Q&A process in a while. So any other things you want to add on, Amit?
Just in addition to what Nikita has briefed wonderfully, financials is a very micro discussion. So uske liye, one-to-one or over the table discussion is quite important, because abhi aapko macro numbers diye gaye hain given the timeline of the meeting we are having. So you can reach out to us anytime, or at present aap apne questions chat window mein bhi likh sakte hain, and I'll be happy to answer those.
All right. So I'll start taking up the questions, but prior to that, I would have I do have my queries also, which I would want to ask as I was listening everything. So one thing which I would want to ask you, what all locations we are open in right now.
You want to understand the locations?
Yes, the locations we are open in right now for the unit franchisee as well as for master franchisees.
All right. So in Delhi NCR, 32 Milestone is in the card. Then a Metro Mall, Gurgaon, that is on the cards. Plus Worldmark, we are in talks. Rajouri Garden, Punjabi Bagh, and Connaught Place, we have shortlisted a couple of places. This is about Delhi NCR. In Punjab, Chandigarh, Panchkula, Zirakpur, and Mohali. These are upcoming, along with Ludhiana and Barinda-Barnala Highway. Plus, for Pune, we are in talks for Goregaon Park and Nagar Road. That is in Maharashtra. And this is all to start with, as per the meetings which happened in the past 1 month.
Okay. And at present, we are not at all looking anything in South.
So it's not that we're not looking in South. As I mentioned, that phase-wise plan, pehle jo humne plan kiya tha, now it is not there. But because we are receiving the territory rights, so let's assume that a person from Tamil Nadu, he gets matured. If he gets matured, then consider a rollout in Tamil Nadu as well in the upcoming year. This year is gone. and same is the story with the Andhra Pradesh, etc. So the talks are on. It all depends on the maturity of the investors.
Okay. One more question which I want to ask you. Do you help in finding or finalizing the location
Yes, we
to
do.
the franchise partner? Like, do we have any team who's working on the
For
real
example,
estate part also?
I got a question. So for
Yeah.
example, Dixy को हम इस तरह से pitch कर रहे हैं कि let's assume there is a professional, there is a lawyer, there is a bureaucrat, there is a politician, there is a service class a person who's doing a job, but he has money in his pocket. पैसा उनके पास पड़ा हुआ है, right from the 1 से लेके 2.5 करोड़ के बीच में कोई भी अमाउंट उनके पास है. So बट वो अपना एक्टिव जॉब जो आज की डेट में कर रहे हैं उसको नहीं छोड़ना चाहते हैं, और they might as well want to settle their family. They might as well want the women of the house to jump into the business. So for all kinds of people, for all kinds of investors, Dixy is open. उसमें FOCO model picture में आ जाता है. So when the FOCO comes in the picture, there the company is providing 100% assistance. We would just need money. That means the ownership will belong to them. Ownership उनकी है. बाकी सारा काम company करके दे रही है. They will not be disturbed in day-to-day life.
Okay. Be it the finalization of location or anything.
Anything.
They will be working as a, like, they are there as a partner, or I would say the investors only.
Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. All right. So I want to take up a question. Mr. Vinod is asking, East is open for master franchisee and unit.
Yes, it is open.
Okay. Mr. Vinod, the East is open. Mr. Sudhakar is asking, in case of multi-unit, master fee is 20 CR. It seems 25 lakhs per unit. What benefit he gets with 50%?
All right. So this is a detailed financial discussion. Can I have the name of the
Yes, Mr. Sudhakar is asked.
Mr. Sudhakar.
Yeah.
So Sudhakar ji, ये ऐसे है कि take an assumption 25 lakh rupees is the average franchisee fee per outlet. So अगर 100 franchisees हैं तो तकरीबन 25 करोड़ के आसपास की लाइसेंस फी बन जाती है उस पर्टिकुलर एरिया की, जिस एरिया में भी आप टेरिटरी का होल्ड चाहते हैं. एंड वहाँ पे it's not, the amount is not gonna be 20 CR. It is of course gonna be discounted for you. Discount will vary on your proposal. 100 outlets का है, 80 का है, 150 का है, depending on your proposal. We can even reach out to a conclusion where इसको 25 CR से कम करके आपके लिए 15 CR, 12.5 CR के आसपास लाया जाए. So initial license fee is gonna be heavy, and of course that is also gonna be in flexible payment options. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको amount भी सब इकट्ठा ही देना है. It can be 3 महीने में, it can be divided in 6 months also. It can be divided in 2 years also. Again, a detailed discussion is required because ये customized nature of model है. Because India के अंदर हर territory, हर state के demographics अलग है, हर state का area अलग है. Now, coming forward, let's assume FOFO model. Now, आप एक territory के अंदर FOFO को develop करते हैं. Now, under the FOFO model, the royalty of 7% comes to the brand. इसका मतलब आपके नीचे जो सब फ्रेंचाइजी है, वो सब फ्रेंचाइजी की सेल मान लीजिए 1 करोड़ है एक आउटलेट की. So 1 करोड़ का मतलब हुआ वो 7 लाख रुपए आपको 7% of the sales, 7% of the gross sales he is going to give you because you are the master franchisee. So आपके पास वो 7 लाख आया, and वो 7 लाख को डिवाइड किया जाएगा 3.5% between the brand and between you. So behind one franchisee आपको एक तो 3.5 लाख रुपए का वहां पे फ्लैट प्रॉफिट होना शुरू हो गया. Number 1. Number 2, because you are a master franchisee and आप लाइसेंस फी तो हमें दे चुके हैं, but you will be eligible to charge 25 lakh rupees from that person. इसका मतलब आपका जो पेबैक है जो आपने हमें दिया, हमें जरूर एडवांस में दे दिया, बट आप सब फ्रेंचाइजी से 25 लाख रुपए लेकर अपने पास रखेंगे, एंड वो जो 25 लाख है उसका 50% अगेन विल कम टू द ब्रांड. So that means out of that 25 lakh rupees, 12.5 is gonna be yours. So from one sub franchisee, 12.5 lakh rupees, plus from one franchisee under the FOFO model, 3.5 lakh rupees is gonna be your net neat profit. अब इसी नंबर को आप 100 से मल्टीप्लाई कर लीजिए, बिकॉज किसी भी टेरिटरी के अंदर आने वाले 3 साल के अंदर 100 franchises का scope is very very easy, and it is gonna be easy setup, lucrative as well. And जो brand rights आपको मिलेंगे वो at least 10 साल के लिए मिलेंगे, कम से कम 10 साल के लिए मिलेंगे. So 100 is a very small number given the timeline. I
So,
hope.
Yeah, I mean, it is clear. One thing which I want to ask from the same answer which you have given, you've mentioned that the brand rights जो आप दे रहे हैं, you are giving it for 10 years, right?
Right.
So, ये जो हमारा agreement होगा, it will be valid for 10 years.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Subject to renewal for next 10 years.
Got it, understood.
Dixy,
There is one more. Yeah,
Dixy
please carry
India
on.
per se has got the rights from UK for 20 years. So the company is, if you talk about Dixy India, then our rights are gonna be get renewed after 20 years. So that means what we are doing is 10 years subject to renewal to our master franchisees or sub-franchisees.
Okay, I got it. And if it is with the unit franchisees?
It is the same.
For 10 years.
Yeah, it is gonna be for 10 years.
Okay, all right. Okay, one more question is there. How much is the master franchise fee to Uttar Pradesh North India location?
So UP, if you're talking about Lucknow, Gorakhpur belt, or can you be more specific about the areas, or you're talking only about North UP?
So he's asking for North UP at present, like the question he's mentioned here.
So I guess my answer is gonna be same जो मैंने East के लिए दिया है, because once I have the proposal, we sit across the table. आप इसको for at least take the number of 100 franchisees. Now North UP में अगर आप 200 का plan लेके चलते हैं, then of course my fee is gonna get doubled. But for 100 franchisees, the approximate amount for territory is gonna be somewhere between 12.5 to 15 CR.
12.5 to 15 CR would be the franchise fee.
It's discounted to 50 to 60%. So ideally it is 25 CR, but then it'll drop down to 12.5 to 15 to give you a ballpark idea once we freeze things.
Exactly. And again, it depends once we'll come and sit on the table for the discussion. So further can be discussed. All right. Okay. Mr. Vinod is asking, is it mandatory to open a unit for master franchisee?
Say again, please.
So he wants to ask if it is mandatory to open unit franchisee for a master franchisee owner. Like if it's taking master franchisee, right?
I'll take this
question. Get his question. Maybe he's talking about the company outlet, because okay, Nikita, please.
Yes. So basically what I think he's asking is that if a person is taking a master franchisee for a certain territory, so is it compulsory for him to put an direct unit of himself as well, apart from sub-franchisees? So that is something that we want, and we specifically ask, because that actually brings the person's skin in the game, so that he also be advised as in what kind of operational expenses are there, what kind of financial structuring of that store is. So that is not a compulsion, but a strict rule guideline that we are having. But I think based on what kind of partner there is, what kind of deal do we negotiate, I think that is still negotiable.
So in addition to Nikita, what she said, देखिए इसको दो तरीके से लीजिए आप. अगर हमारे पास प्रोटोटाइप है that जो दिखता है वो बिकता है, that this is one store, and that is how in your territory people are going to look upon to it, and it's not necessary कि अगर कोई यूपी की बात कर रहा है तो वो दिल्ली आके उस स्टोर को नहीं देख सकता है. But then a professional advice here would be कि एक आउटलेट को either by your own, which is a company outlet, which is a master franchisee outlet, or it is under COCO, which is company operated, company owned, along with the joint venture with the brand. That possibility can be worked out, wherein a JV option can be worked out. So for example, if you want to roll out as 5 stores as a master franchisee and you want a brand support there, then we would be happy to help. If you want to independently open a master franchisee company outlet, then of course it is gonna be a company outlet by a master franchisee.
All right. I think that is very well explained. Thank you so much. Anything, Abhimanyu, if you have any query, any question which you want to take up here and you want to ask Mr. Juneja?
I think the PPT and the presentation and the brand very clear, and we'll determine I already aligned a few members from my team as well to drive this brand as well in specifically in this month for the Punjab. and the market. And I'll be discussing it with my indirect team as well in regards to same. So we are hopeful he will come up with something nice for this.
Fair enough.
Okay. One last question which I want to take up for today, Mr. Ahmed. Somebody has asked, so my name is not mentioned here. Which is the lowest investment franchise model you have? I'm willing to take a single unit franchisee at Lucknow.
All right. So Dixy by the walk is the lowest investment model, जो तकरीबन 1 से लेके 1.25 करोड़ के बीच का है. However, I will advise you कि अगर आप थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेच करके इसको by the walk से डाउनटाउन ले जाएं, तो आप एक शॉपिंग मॉल से निकलकर एक डाउनटाउन एरिया में आ सकते हैं, which is an investment of roughly about 1.5 to 1.6 CR. So that is, however, of course, off the meeting we can of course have a chat on this.
Okay, so you're telling the standard, or I would say the pricing which is there in the presentations and everywhere, but somehow and somewhere you are a little flexible also, or depending on the communication, the further conversation, and the things go ahead after the things. All right, all right. Any last words you want to add on for closing remarks?
Well, I guess the only thing I would say is that when we plan to bring Dixy into India, in our mind, the positioning of Dixy is gonna be at par with McDonald's, Burger King, and KFC. So it's gonna be a 5-star or a 7-star standard, meeting the epitome of the food segment along with the quality standards. And per se, there's a quality running into my DNA personally. So the team is all up to it. We already are into manufacturing, retail, production, distribution, service sector of many things, per se the Vidhata group. And we have to take Dixy to the new heights, and let's give something new to India.
Sure, I'm sure, certainly. All the very best. And it sounds really interesting, the concept and the kind of models you're coming up with, because you're coming up with FOCO and FOFO models. So I think these two models are always required in market, and you do have both the models all together. So I think the scope is really good over here. And I'm sure the details shared by you are going to give benefit to our partners and investors who are watching you live. Thank you so much for joining us today. People who are watching us live today, thank you so much for joining us. If we try to answer all your questions, but if there is anything which is left unanswered, we try to get in touch with you within a day or two. As we are committed to coming again every day at 12 p.m. to share with you details of a new brand. And tomorrow again, with the same intention, with the same commitment, we are coming up in front of you at 12 p.m. with a new brand called Mumbai Misal Vada Pav. It is Ahmedabad-based fast food brand servicing the authentic taste of Maharashtra misal and vada pav. To join our webinar tomorrow at 12 o'clock, we would want you to come and register yourself. See you tomorrow at 12 o'clock to know more details for this brand. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Thanks a lot. Have a good day ahead.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.